He started the game even though we said...
Should I quit?
Wait and see. That's why...
Did you want to
I
wait?
think you're gonna have to hop out of the Skype call if we're gonna do this. But...
Yep. So.
Doesn't look like we're getting a response out of him, and we're already deep into picks and bans, so... Bans coming rapid fire here. Alright, I'll see you on the other side, friend.
Yeah. Sure. Have fun.
I will. Alright. See Jax, Brom, Elise, Jax, Brom, Leeson, Fizz, Cassidon, Evelyn are your bans, and Twitch is the first pick after the forward, and even after 410 itemization. Interesting strategy, because now you're going to want to build a Blade of the Ruined King and Yomu's Ghost Blade onto him. After the recent set of Bloodthirster nerfs, and Corki, Orianna being the two hovers for the purple team. Standard picks. Corki having a resurgence once again. Not around World's time though, which is interesting because he usually shows up around whatever season it is, World's time, and Orianna just a safe control mage, able to throw down the shockwave and control fights very well with shields, heals, and a great amount of utility. Not heals, great utility. Thresh, the hover for blue team for Kazarv, with a Rengar, a jungle Rengar being locked in, unless that is a placeholder for the top laner. Jungle Rengar, I am not a huge fan of. He's not, I don't think he's an ideal pick, but there are strong junglers also. And Thresh being the lock-in to create this Thresh Twitch bottom lane. Very strong early game. Great amount of damage. Incredible amount of CC coming out of the Thresh. But we do see Morgana being locked in for the purple side as the support. And Skarner being the hover for the jungle. Very strong after the recent set of buffs to his kit with a stun added onto his passive. Syndra and Zac are the last two hovers for this blue team. LeBlanc. Syndra is actually a really strong counter to Orianna. Multiple balls beats the one, and Syndra is going to be locked in, and we do see a Zac hover coming from Barry. Most likely to be played into the top lane or possibly the jungle. Not sure at this point. And that is going to be Zac with Teleport and Ignite, it looks like, in the top lane. And the final pick coming out from Chef Mongaze. Jeff von Gazen. Lucas. I'll call him Lucas. That is my co-caster. He actually had to fill in for this last game. We didn't have enough people. We also chose to do this during EULCS Super Week. So it is an interesting experience. And he is going to lock in the Shyvana into the top lane to go up against this Zac. Which plays into most likely the favor of Shyvana's because she can go aggressive early. But we do see that double stealth from the blue team going to be able to submarine to the backline with the Rengar and the Twitch, and they are going to be able to dive onto this Corki fairly well. But the Skarner should be able to lock up the Twitch whenever he shows up after he gets out of his ambush, if he can keep his distance for the blue team. And then you have, of course, the Let's Bounce after the Elastic Slingshot, shooting Zac into the backline, and the Syndra with the long-range CC, and Thresh with the hooks in the box, and many other joyous things. And for the purple team, actually, I'll get into plugs for a second. Most of you listen to the Trinity Force podcast already, if you're either watching this on the twitch.tv channel or the YouTube channel. But I will tell you about the Trinity Force podcast real quick. Trinity Force podcast is a network of 3 podcasts. The Trinity Force proper, the T-Force proper, the T-Force LCS rundown, and the Oz LOL podcast. First one I'd like to talk about is T-Force proper. It is your bi-weekly, not bi-weekly, that's not the right word, the twice a week, that sounds better, podcast put on to answer listener questions, talk about patch notes, and have great guests come on and give you a nice amount of knowledge about this game that we play called League of Legends. It is Ponophobia, Chiro Jaden, DeClaude, and Dom. And they go live on Mondays and Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or for you guys, 2 a.m. Central European Summer Time. And if you don't want to catch them live, you can catch it on our website, trinityforcepodcast.com. Next up, I'd like to talk about the T-Force LCS Rundown. It is your weekly fix of the LCS games going on. If you miss the games at all, they've got your back. They will talk about Fantasy, they'll talk about NA, they'll talk about EU, and it is also a great group of guys on Sundays at 9 p.m. Eastern or 3 a.m. Central European Summer Time. And that is your host, Mott McGorum, with Optimus Tom, Cereal Box, Greg Russo, and they are adding a 5th member to their wondrous crew that they've gotten so far. And the last one I'd like to talk about is our brothers from Down Under. It is the Oz LOL podcast. It is Carrot Colossus and his crew. And they go over, excuse me for a second, they go over patch notes, and they will talk about the Australian League of Legends scene, which is rapidly growing. And they don't go live, but they post to all their stuff to trinityforcepodcast.com. I suggest you give it a listen because they have great insight and they take listener questions also. And if you'd like to contact us, if you would like to ask one of these listener questions that I've mentioned a couple times already to either the Oslol or the T-Force proper, email us at feedback@trinityforcepodcast.com. Or if you're watching this Battle Arena game after it's all said and done and you would like to ask a question about your play, email us at battlearena@trinityforcepodcast.com. We'll get right back to you on it, but we are loading into the game. We have Zac switching to teleport at the last second. Teleport flash into the top lane against the Shyvana. The purple people eater battle going on. In the jungle, we have Rengar versus Skarner. In the mid lane, it is Syndra and Orianna. Balls will be flying everywhere. You gotta learn to dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge in that lane. And in the bottom lane, we have the strong pairing, 2 strong pairings in Twitch and Thresh versus Corki and Morgana. I will say one thing, solo casting is fun. And awesome. Okay. Just about to load into the game. We usually give predictions on who will win around this time. I will say that the blue team, I like the blue team's comp more. They have the engage from Zac. The Syndra, if she can land a nice 4-man, 3-man, 4-man, or even a 5-man, scatter the weak in the late game, that is going to provide a great stun for the Twitch and the Rengar to get into the backline and deal lots of damage, with the Zac Let's bouncing all over and Thresh providing peel for his carries. But don't discount the fact that there is the Shyvana Orianna initiation ball delivery system combo going on, and the Skarner to be able to pull the Twitch after his escape. And I have a feeling that, yep, you guys have been looking at the screen for a while. I didn't change the scene. That is my bad. We're going to get into this game. A couple pings already coming out. Let me line up these champions for you real quick. Zac in the top, Orianna in the mid. Switch those, switch these, and switch that. There we go. Your standard matchups: top, jungle, mid, AD carry, support. See a bunch of ward trinket, yellow trinkets coming out from both sides. See, almost mirror in items across the board. Doran shields in the top lanes, machetes in the jungle, Doran's blades, of course, in the AD carry role. But we see a Doran's ring for the Orianna and a crystalline flask for the Syndra.
30 seconds until
I'm not a huge fan of crystalline flask on Syndra because she can use her early game power to pick up, and with the damage that the Doran's ring provides to you, she's going to provide an incredible amount of damage in the early game to bully the Orianna off, forcing her to use her shields and burning through her mana pool very early. But I'm both sorry about that. Both mid laners are mana reliant in this situation. Standard fan at level 1, ward being placed down onto this red buff, and they're gonna spot it out. And Rengar is going to start in the enemy team's jungle, but we do see the Orianna and the Shyvana are going to collapse onto this. See a little damage coming out from the Rengar. Oh man, my camera speed is off. Got to change that. See, 3-man coming over here. They're going to take this red buff away. Rengar is going to smite it real quick, pick up the red, most likely head right over to his blue. Skarner, on the other hand, is just grabbing his wolves. The bottom lane, Corki hasn't shown up yet. We didn't go early 2 lane, so Twitch and Thresh are most likely going to get that first 2 over the Corki. Skarner doing a really good job here of going to the red buff of the Rengar, but as you can see over here on the side, pings come out. Rengar is going to follow up on this invade with a holy cow, moving really quickly, and he's gonna know what's happening. He's gonna check the bush. Skarner's gonna be at half health, and he's gonna start putting damage down, and that's gonna be incredible amounts of damage. And Scatter the Weak comes out, but in the bottom lane, Twitch picks up the first kill onto the Morgana, while Rengar picks up a kill onto Skarner. He actually stole away the red buff with his smite before that all happened. Not much going on around the map after that. Corki being denied CS very well in this bottom lane by the Twitch Thresh combo. Top lane, Shyvana looking to kill Zac twice so he can pick up the kills, but the bottom lane Corki goes low on this turret. Shouldn't be staying at this point, but Morgana actually taking a bunch of free autos from the Twitch, and that poison damage is ticking off. She needs to stay back. You're not going to zone him off a turret because the turret's going to zone him enough anyways as is. Hook lands onto the Morgana in the bottom lane. Thresh Flay is going to come out. One more hit. The expunge is going to pick up the kill. See the power of Corki in the early game coming out. And Empowered Bullet Strike is going to land on Shyvana in the top lane. Rengar is going to start diving underneath the turret, but he's going to take a lot of pain. Low pings come out on both sides. Rengar looking to dive onto this Shyvana to pick up the kill. Corki now in a bad spot. Thresh going to force the Valkyrie out, but the hook is going to land afterwards, and there's going to be a couple more autos. One more hit, and the expunge comes down and picks up the kill for the Twitch in this early game, taking advantage of that early power that Twitch Thresh provides. In the meanwhile, Morgana stopping the backs of both of these players on the blue team. But in the top lane, Shyvana is going to start getting dove underneath the turret, and Rengar is going to go low. Shyvana is going to survive with about 25 HP, 50, 60. Doran's shield regeneration is going to get him back up, but he is going to go back right now. See what items are going to be picked up, because a lot of people are going back right now. Spirit Stone and boots for the Skarner. Orianna starting to build towards the Chalice, and we see a Vamp Scepter for the Shyvana as she teleports back to lane. But for the blue team, Twitch picking up the early BF sword, going towards that Infinity Edge, and Thresh already has his Ancient Coin after he started the Ruby Crystal, and now has the Sight Stone also. So he's going to have great ward control, and picks up the Sweeper while he is back. So he's going to be able to start denying vision from this red team bottom lane. Colorblind on, correct. I'm just remembering all these things. Yep, I have colorblind on. That was just the one thing that I just remembered. And Hook missing in the bottom lane, Dark Binding missing also, not much going on. Let's take a look at this mid lane real quick. Syndra picked up a Chalice, her last back. She's going to have the mana sustained, but Skarner is looking to come around from the side, do a nice little invade onto this Rengar's jungle because he sees him in the bottom lane. Speaking of the bottom lane, Hook comes out, lands onto the Corki. Twitch gets binded underneath the turret, and he's going to go low, but Rengar is going to be able to come in for the save, making sure they do not dive right back on top of him. Skarner continuing his counter jungle after taking the wolves. He's going to grab Berry White. Stun's going to come out from Syndra. Bunch of damage is going to come out. The Ignite's going to come down. Heal is going to get burnt. One more auto attack. Not going to be enough after she misses the Flash Sphere. But in the bottom lane, Rengar jumps onto Morgana with the help of Thresh and Twitch, and they pick up the kill. Corki is pinging for assistance. The kill score is 5-0 at 7.5 minutes in favor of this blue team. Great choice. Dragon's Descent comes out in the top lane. Let's Bounce is going to come down. One more hit from Barry. Is going to pick up the kill on Lucas, and no, he does not go down. Great Dragon's Descent to get out of there. Low health bars all over the place right now. Oh, low health ping came out because he sold his item. Lost a little bit of health whenever you resell items, which is weird. Skarner looking to give this blue buff over to the Orianna, but in the bottom lane, Twitch is going to be able to pick up another kill with the help of the Thresh onto this Corki, pushing his advantage to 4 kills to none and double the CS. This is not looking good for the red team so far. Rengar looking to invade onto the red buff, but it is already gone. Over to Skarner. Rengar is stealthing up in this mid lane. Syndra is going to land the stun. Here comes the empowered bullet strike into the shockwave, pulling both members of the red team in this mid lane onto the turret, and Orianna is going to have to go back after being forced down to about 50 health, while Syndra and Rengar push down this mid lane. In the bottom lane though, the Corki and the Thresh pick up the turret. Corki gets really low from the poison ticks, but does not go down, forces the flash out. Blue team picks up the turret in the mid lane. Great moves by Blue at this point. If this honestly could not be going better for the blue team, using their early game advantage in the bottom lane to pick up some kills and get this Twitch going. And this is a nightmare, anything, for the red team. Corki actually choosing to pick up a crit cloak of all things. First item. He should have gone towards a pickaxe if he wanted damage, or even a vamp scepter, so that he can get some early sustain in the lane. But he's level 5, Morgana's level 5, and Twitch and Thresh both have their ultimates, and blue team is looking towards this dragon, but Rengar is up on the top side of the map, and he cannot contend it. Let's Bounce comes out after the elastic slingshot in the top lane. Sack passive is still up, so not expecting to see a dive out of this Shyvana anytime soon, but he is going to get taken low thanks to the percent damage from the Zac. But we see Skarner is coming around from the side in the mid lane, but here comes Thresh for the support. Stun's gonna land. Hook is going to come out. Oh, almost lands the hook after the flash, but not quite able to pick up the skill shot. Top lane though, Shyvana is in a bad spot. She's going to Dragon's Descent over the top and get caught by Rengar a little bit. And he's going to flash right into the bush, and Rengar is going to be able to follow with his Unseen Predator passive to pick up the leap onto the Shyvana and pick up the kill. See, Thresh actually comes up to this top lane. Good rotations out of the blue team, and they're going to be able to pick up the last outer turret for the red team, opening up the entire jungle. But we do see pings coming out onto Dragon from the red team. Twitch is off on the side. He's going to stealth bomber. Orianna actually walks right by the Syndra, and the stun's going to come out from Scatter the Weak, and the slow comes down. Heal is going to get burnt right away. Thresh's hook lands onto the Shyvana. Orianna's going to get taken down by the Unleashed Power and Ignite combo, and Ori and Shyvana is going to get taken down after the Thresh hook lands by all the damage from the blue team. And the red team's Skarner is going to be standing at the Dragon Pit doing nothing while the turret goes down in this top lane. This is looking disastrous for the red team at this point. And a Dragon is going to be started up down in this bottom side of the map, but at this point Dragon is going to be nice for the gold, but it's not going to, it's not going to do anything too major in this situation to help the red team get back into this game. It's great to get that objective, but at this point blue team is strong and using their advantage over the red team. Give me a moment to catch my breath, ladies and gentlemen. Low health pings coming down. Skarner is taken low by the white, but the Thresh is going to come in. And the Flay is going to come out onto Morgana. He's going to lantern somebody in. Corki is going to come over the top. Or Twitch, is going to come over the top and deal tons of damage, but the Shockwave is going to come down, landing onto one. Morgana flash autos onto the Wolf and is not be able to throw out the Dark Binding or any of the CC. Rengar is going to flash over the wall, and he is going to get the jump onto the Orianna. He's going to use the heal instead. Orianna is going to make it out of that alive. Corki is going to be alive and well also. Blue team's pinging out onto this dragon even though it's not there. In the top lane, Shyvana is pushing out this top, trying to pick up the turret, gets some sort of objective after the stranglehold was held by the blue team. Skarner's going to get stunned up, and he is going to be able to get Unleash powered and taken down by the Syndra. That is a ton of damage coming out of Syndra at this point in the game, and she just has Sword Shoes and Athenes. Wow. See, Twitch and Corki are both building towards Infinity Edge first, but Twitch is most likely going to be able to pick it up on his next back. He is sitting on about 1,200 gold. That is goodbye in this situation, and Corki is going to get caught out. Most likely the red buff is going to start slowing him, but he's just going to Valkyrie over the wall, make it back to the safety of his turret. This is going to be another turret most likely going down for the red team and being picked up by the blue. 3-man Scout of the Week comes out. Nice stun. Dark Binding is not going to... Yes, it is after the Lantern from the Thresh, but Twitch is going to be able to just walk it out of here after the slow from the Skarner does not land. Blue buff going to be pulled by the Rengar, but nothing major is going to happen there. Let's see. Let's go over item builds real quick. Twitch has the Berserker Greaves and the Infinity Edge finished off, while Twitch is still working, or Corki is still working on his Infinity Edge. Elder Lizard coming out for both of these junglers, and Rengar is going to just jump over the wall with the help of the Thresh after the CC and pick up the kill. Shyvana is going to get Let's Bounced, and he's going to Dragon's Descent right onto the team, and here comes the spray and pray, but the 3-man shockwave coming out from the Orianna is just not going to do anything at this point. Syndra is going to be able to pick up a double kill, and blue team has a massive lead in this game at this point. Orianna is going to try and zone out this team as much as he possibly can, but he's going to actually get hooked in, and Scatter comes out after the elastic slingshot, and Orianna is going to go down. Skarner is going to ult onto the Zac, and Morgana is going to pull off a 1-man Soul Shackles, but quickly realized that she's not going to want to be able to do that anymore. She backs off. Red team is going to lose this mid-inner turret, and Rengar is pushing out this bottom side, going towards this turret, but we see the Shyvana is going to teleport down. Oh, excuse me. What was I gonna say? Talisman of Ascension being picked up by the Thresh. I enjoy that item onto the Thresh. Dark Binding is gonna land. Corki is gonna fly over the wall, but he might be baiting. Zac might be baiting in their team. Hook's gonna land onto the Corki. Thresh is gonna go over the wall. The play is gonna come out, and Corki is going to get taken down by the Twitch, but Twitch is going to get caught here by a Dark Binding. Flash over the wall. Shyvana's going to be able to pick up the kill. Cutlass goes on to the Zac, but he does not. Yes, see, why did I click on Syndra? Zac does have Stealth Division, and it's going to come out. Thresh is going to get taken down on the top side of the map by the Orianna Shockwave, and Syndra is going to come in, get impaled by the Skarner, but not be able to save his teammate, and he is going to be in a bad spot right there, and that is going to be another kill picked up by the red team in the situation. Wow, the turnaround, though. That was just an ill-advised play from the blue team. You're low. You've got plenty of gold in your inventory to spend. Why would you try and fight that? You should have just backed off in that situation. Yes, you got a catch, but you never knew. You didn't have enough vision on the other side, or just up the screen a little bit to see where they were. Twitch is going to be able to clear this wave with the Venomous Cask and Expunge, or Contaminate. Sorry. Keep forgetting that they changed his ability names. Is it still Ambush? Oh, it is now Ambush. Talisman of Ascension being picked up by the Thresh, and Shyvana's getting a little tanky. The Dragon did just spawn back into this game, and pings are coming out from the blue team. Zac's down on the bottom side of the map. Corki is going to Valkyrie over the wall. Skarner is in a bad position at this point, but he is going to Excuse me. Ah. He's just going to start his back animation, but he is going to come over and try and contest this dragon. Scatter the Weak's going to hit nobody, and our team's going to be able to pull the aggro of this. The jungler is not there. Rengar is coming in from the side. Are they going to be able to burn it down? No, the aggro reset. Zac is going to bounce onto the entire red team. Shyvana is going to jump in, and Shockwave's going to hit nobody, but Skarner is going to go down. Rengar is going to pick up a double kill in this fight, and he's going to chase onto the Corki. He's going to pick up a triple kill. Shyvana and Orianna are still in this fight. Hook lands onto the Orianna, and here comes the Rengar. Is he going to be able to pick up the quadra kill? He is going to pick up... No, he's not. The Zac is going to be able to pick up the kill, and Rengar picks up his 4th kill of the fight. That was just disastrous for the red team, and the blue team most likely is going to be able to pick up a dragon in this situation. Down 8k, down 10k gold at 20 minutes into the game. Only 1 turret and down 4 turrets and turret score and down 14 kills. This is looking grim, to say the least, for Red Squad. Red Rust being picked up by both junglers. Twitch is looking to take this last inner turret with the help of the Syndra zoning, and it's most likely going to go down on this wave. It's the last auto attack to take it down. Twitch is going to start stealthing up and walk in, but he's going to take some damage, and then the stealth is going to get delayed. He's standing right on top of him, and here comes the spray and pray out, and he's just going to evaporate this Corki. More damage and pain is coming out of the Rat-a-tat-tat. We see Skarner on the backline being hooked by the Thresh. He is going to be in a bad situation. Another hook is going to land from this Thresh. This is great play coming out from him. He's going to get slowed down, and he's going to go down to the red buff of the Syndra. Sorry. I want to take a look at builds real quickly. That is a Yolmuth's Ghostblade onto a jungle Rengar. Shyvana's going to pick up, Syndra is going to pick up the blue buff. Excuse me once again. But we see Phantom Dancer being built by this Twitch. Infinity Edge Phantom Dancer combo is really strong. Kale's starting to be built by Thresh, looking to use Mikhail's, I believe, on whoever gets ulted by Skarner, but I do not believe that it's going to be able to cleanse that. Twitch is going to be able to just walk out of this alive. Dragon is down. Shyvana is pushing back this top lane. At this point, the red team just needs to try and freeze, but Rengar is going to not even jump onto the Orianna. That was probably the best move in that situation. He was not paying attention. You never know what happens. Syndra is going to land the stun onto the Morgana, and the damage is going to come out, and that's a lot of pain, but she is still going to go down through the black shield and the shield from the Orianna, and Rengar is going to jump on the Shyvana in this top lane. Dragon's Descent is not needed because he flashed out. Blue team's going to start sieging onto this middle turret. Sun is going to come out again from the Syndra onto the Orianna. Forces another flash in the situation. Corki is going to jump right over top of the Zac, and he's going to flash Let's Bounce onto the Corki. Sun's going to come out, and that is a ton of damage coming through. Picking up the Corki kill, and the Ignite's going to come down onto Syndra. Zac is going to tank through from Syndra onto the Shyvana. Damage is going to come onto this turret. Skarner is going to get pulled in by Thresh, and Skarner is trying real hard to pick up this suppression onto Syndra. He's going to land the and the stun is going to come out. One more hit, Unleash Power comes through, and he's going to be able to pick up the kill while he is suppressed. Twitch is going to come from the backside, and he's going to start dealing tons of damage. That is another kill picked up. That is 4 kills picked up by the blue team in this fight. Red team simply over-pursued that. Gotta know your limits. Gotta know when to back off and when to stay. And Red team just didn't in that situation, and that is going to be a inhibitor most likely. Oh, another great scatter of the week comes out from the Syndra. Towards the hill out of Corki. Thresh is not going to get taken down by the turret. And that's going to be an inhib for the blue team at 24 minutes into the game. Yes, Shyvana could have used the ultimate to escape in that situation, but chose to flash. See, blue team now staying a little bit too long, looking to pick up some turrets, but a great scout of the week is going to stun the team. Dark Binding does land onto the Zac, but he does have Stellar Vision. He is going to get taken very low, but he's going to be able to walk it out of the situation. Rengar is going to come back in and he's going to land slow. Zac's going to get his passive popped. Rengar is just going to be able to walk out of the situation. He's going to pop the ultimate. Zac is going to be able to come up, and he's going to be able to take the Lantern out. And Rengar is going to just dive onto this Corki and be able to pick up the kill. Starts slowing the Orianna down. He's in a bad situation at this point. Shockwave comes out and misses. Wow, what a turn of events for the blue team. First, the Zac escapes imminent death, and then Rengar comes in and assassinates the Corki and then gets out. This is a 16k gold lead for the blue team at this point. And they might be looking to go towards Baron at some point in this game. Keep forgetting I don't have a co-caster. And 23 kills down and 14k. At this point, most solo queue games would surrender. Especially when your AD carry is 0-8. Due to some incredible play from this bottom lane. Seemed like every hook landed in the early game for this Thresh, and blue team is going to start making their way towards this dragon. And they're going to be able to take it down fairly quickly with Zac percent damage and the Twitch.
Blue team has slain the dragon.
I want to go over builds real quick because this may be the last opportunity that I have as blue team is pushing onto this Morgana, and Morgana is going to get caught out, and she's going to get the nice flash over the wall. Expunge one more tick. The damage from the poison is going to come out from Twitch, and they're going to be able to pick up the kill. Talisman of Ascension gets popped. Ball is onto Skarner, and he's going to get sped out of the situation. This is not looking good for the red team for the rest of this game. Super minions are on the the Nexus turrets. They're going to start diving on towards the Skarner. He's going to be alright though. He's going to be able to walk it out. Corki's coming in from the side, shooting a couple missiles off. Rengar is not with the team at this point, but red team does not know it. Great Shockwave might be able to turn this game around, but a Scatter of the Week comes through, dealing tons of CC and damage to this red team. Oh, look at that combo. And the Unleashed Power is going to come out and pick up the kill onto the Morgana. Wow. See, last bounce is being, or last slingshot was channeled. And this hook is going to land onto the Skarner, and Let's Bounce is going to come out, and they are going to get CC'd all over the place. But that is a great Shockwave coming out from the Orianna. And that is 3 kills now for the red team onto the blue team. And they're going to try and chase Skarner down. Rengar was not with the team in that situation. Rengar is going to get flashed onto, slowed. He's going to get the hook, and he's going to just fly over the wall. Orianna is not going to wisely chase this. Or is she? She's just going to take the Wraiths. Rengar is going to ulti, and he's going to jump right into the Shyvana, and the hook is going to come out, and the damage comes through. And that is 1 kill picked up by Rengar, but he is in a bad spot right now. He's going to get ulted right back into the team. Black Shield, or Torment, Dark Binding, into Soul Shackles, and Thresh stayed way too long. Also, Flash is going to come through, and he's going to get slowed by the Iceborne Gauntlet, and the red buff of the Skarner throws out another hook. And that is 5 kills, ended up being picked up by the red team. Great way to turn around this game a little bit. See, the gold is not as much in the favor of the blue team, but that inhibitor is now back up, so they have some breathing room in this situation. see Death Cap being picked up by both mids, but Ori Syndra is a completed Void Staff away, and the Baron is starting up. It's being started up by the blue team, but Twitch is going to take a lot of damage in the situation. He's going to go low. Zach did not go in and start taking it up early enough, and Twitch is going to get taken down to about 500 HP. Sweeper being placed into the pit, but not seeing that ward. It's not good. They're going to pick up the kill with the Fink ward help. Nice damage coming through. Mikhail's onto both supports, even after the nerfs where they increased the price. Let's Bounce is being channeled and, or not Let's Bounce. Elastic Slingshot. Zach's kind of in a little bit of a bad spot there. Takes some damage, but not too much because he's pretty tanky at this point. He has Sunfire, Spirit Visage, and the makings of a Leandry's Torment. Sorry guys, my throat's starting to hurt a little bit, but we'll be able to bring this game to you. Still, no lifesteal actually on the side of the Twitch, so if he gets caught out, that's why you saw him get taken so much damage by the Baron. Dragon's Descent comes out. Ball gets placed onto the Shyvana, but there's no engage off of this. And Orianna's going to get pulled in, but she's going to get melted by the Unleashed Power, and Twitch is going to come across the top and shoot that rat-a-tat-tat across the entire team. Morgana's going to get taken down right as Soul Shackles get channeled. Zach is going to come through with the Let's Bounce, and they're going to be able to pick up the final kills of this fight. He's going to get knocked up and CC'd and slowed down, and the triple kill goes over to the Syndra, and that looks like it's going to be game for the blue team. Congratulations, Blue Squad, picking up the win in this game. Took a little bit longer than you expected, but did a really good job of finishing off this game. As Zach actually goes for the top turret, they could have just finished it off in that situation, and they are. And we are going to figure out what we are going to do for the next game right now.
All these trophies, I'm gonna need a...
Rengar talking about all those trophies he has and how he is going to need a Banger Den.